Rather, what we have seen, again, is just illustrated, are the attempts of a few people to label certain books as pornographic, not according to the Miller test or to state statute, but because they include homosexual characters or people of color.
The bill makes no provisions or requirements for libraries or schools to preemptively keep harmful materials away from kids. They only have to react when someone complains.
Well, Senate Bill 1289 seems to be the library bill compromise nobody wanted, at least according to nearly 3 hours of public testimony today in the Senate State Affairs Committee. But a bill which passed by a vote of 6-3. You just heard from two people who testified today. One, president of the Idaho Freedom Foundation, who believes the freedoms allowed in the library are too much and doesn't know if he would trust sending his kids to the library to just roam free and see whatever is there. He also doesn't believe this bill is tough enough and, in fact, would codify allowing harmful materials in libraries. The other, as you also heard from, a Ketchum, Idaho librarian who has worked there 10 years and says they have circulated well over 1 million books during her time. With how many requests for reconsideration? That'd be none. 0. She worries this bill would, if made law, would also be difficult to handle for small rural libraries, like in Bellevue, just down the road from her, where they have just one part-time employee. And they would have to create a review committee dedicated to handle claims, which could be at the expense of other things like summer reading or helping seniors access telehealth. So here's what 1289 would do if made into law. It would require libraries to set up a material review committee to review requests for relocation, which most larger libraries and library districts already have. If a parent has a problem with a book, they just fill out a relocation form. The library would then hold a public hearing on that book, a hearing that would be published in the local newspaper. A decision would then be made at that public hearing by the review committee. And if a parent doesn't like that decision, well, they can file for a judicial review. If that doesn't satisfy them, then they can bring a civil action against the school or that library for $250 in damages or any other damages they deem necessary. So instead of a direct do not stop at go or do not pass go to go directly to a civil or criminal action that the previous library bills had, there's a 3-step process before it gets to that. So what does Idaho's Library Association Vice President have to say about Senate Bill 1289, the Great Compromise?
While the Library Association and many other people in the community do not feel any legislation is necessary, they clearly see that something should be passed this year. And so we understand the political reality of that. And the Library Association feels that because all it does essentially is codify what we're already doing, which is what we've been trying to explain, it is something that may be manageable.
Something that may be manageable, she said. Well, Senate Bill 1289 now heads to the Senate floor.